Welcome back to our new series where we're going to be talking to seasoned agents, new agents, and coming soon agents. Hey, Special Agent Bennett.
You know, I don't know why it shows me as that. I made that when I was in 6th grade.
That's funny.
There we go. Yeah, it is. I changed it a long, like years ago, but it doesn't change for every meeting, so that's really weird. I'll have to figure that out.
It's perfect. But now you can be an actual agent. Now that you're going to be an actual agent, it's perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Getting into the spirit of things, right?
Getting ready. You're not just an agent, you're a special agent. Oh, it's fantastic. Makes my day. So, Special Agent Bennett, where are you from?
Well, I lived in the Seattle area for about 20 years and just moved down to Texas about a year ago, last December. So
Were you a real estate agent in Seattle?
no, I've only been licensed about a week now.
Oh, good. So who are you with?
Keller Williams.
How you liking that?
It's pretty good so far. I'm just getting started, just barely. So still really new to all of it. Still don't really know what I'm doing, but learning slowly but surely, dealing with paperwork and whatnot. So
yeah. Have you been out showing and doing the usual thing yet?
No, not yet.
One thing that you can do, and your broker may have already told you this. Hey, Tamara. Your broker may have already told you this, but you can talk to the agents in the office that, I don't know, is everybody still doing a lot of virtual down there? Where are you at, first of all? I don't remember that I asked.
Like the area?
Yes.
Well, I live in the Justin area.
Oh, okay, towards Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Okay. If you go to the office regularly, you can send the agents in the office an email and ask them if they have any open houses that they need you to sit at, because that's going to be a good tool for you to learn how to do this, is volunteering for open houses. And that's how you're going to get some of your leads, your first leads, if you don't have a really good sphere of influence already.
Okay.
Especially since you're new here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get more clients, and that's the perfect way for you to do it. Right, Tamara?
Right. I was just going to say that. Yes, that is perfect. Another newbie.
Yes. Tamara is actually, she's a real estate broker in Georgia, and she's moved to Texas, and now she has her license here in Texas. So she is not a newbie at the whole real estate world, but she's just a newbie for Texas. And then let me see, what other pointers can we give him, Tamara? Since you're a transplant here, that's the hardest thing to do, is to really have a good sphere of influence, and be able to get a lot of clients, because you can't really rely on your brokerage for leads. Have they given you any leads?
No, not really.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give you any good ones anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say, I've never known a broker to give their new agents their good leads, unless you're related.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Whenever I first started being a broker, I gave the majority of my leads to my agents. At that time, I only had 2, so it wasn't really like I was a big thing. Yeah. And even now, I'll give my leads to my agents, but I'm a little bit more choosy because I've been stung before.
Right.
Because you give leads to somebody and then they go to another office, and then you're like, what? And then they want to take your clients that you've been working with for years.
Right.
But so it just really depends on your brokerage. Keller Williams is one of those kinds of brokerages that's very broad, and they have a lot of agents. So you've got a lot of opportunities there. You just have to maximize on those opportunities. And open houses is one good way to do it. Another way that I would recommend is, are you familiar, Bennett, with what's called a BPO?
Like a broker's price opinion?
Yes.
A
Have
little
you
bit.
gotten requests to do those yet? Because sometimes you
No,
will. No?
not yet.
Well, you can actually Google broker price of BPO and you'll get a bunch of companies that do BPOs. And I'm not saying that you should do this, but I would recommend it simply because you're new and you're new to the area and you're maybe not familiar with your market as much as you should be, or as much as you want to be. So doing BPOs for me, when I first started, because I'm a transplant too, I'm not originally from Texas. So I did BPOs all the time because it took me into the neighborhoods. It got me used to doing CMAs, and it got me used to actually looking up the comps and doing all those exercises. And that really taught me a lot about the market, and it taught me a lot about the areas, the different areas in Wichita Falls, or I did a few down in the Bowie area and in Vernon, and then down all the way to Denton and stuff like that. So it's really going to teach you a lot about that.
Okay.
Have you been playing with Netris yet?
I haven't done anything yet at all.
You haven't? You got to sit around and play with it. You got to figure, because that's going to be your bread and butter. Netris is going to be your bread and butter. So what do they have you doing?
I haven't started training yet. I was licensed like 2 days ago or something like that. So.
Oh, I thought you said 2 weeks ago.
I said
Yeah.
about a week ago or something like that, but I think it was last week. But I'm still getting paperwork processed, so I don't have Keller Williams technology or anything yet. I just sent in my license. And I'm still doing paperwork. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it'll take you a minute. But those are things that you can do in order to kind of help you out. Play around. Well, I guess they don't have you set up with an association yet. So once they get you your login for Netris and Zip Forms, I don't know. Does Keller Williams use Zip Forms or dot loop?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So
I can't remember what the guy told me either.
Huh?
I talked to someone at Keller Williams early on, way early, and I don't remember what he said they used either. But I could make another suggestion to him that maybe he should go to some of the open houses in his area. Justin actually is not too far from me, depending upon where he's at, but I would go, because I've done that since I've been here. When I first got here, is I just went to a couple open houses and talked to people. And, even other agents still, you get an idea, especially if you're new at real estate, like what maybe people want to see when they come to your open house, what kind of things you should, the direction you should point them in. So
take a close look whenever you do go to open houses too. Try to remember what it looked like when you first walk in, because that first impression is what your clients are going to be looking at. They're going to take a look at that first, like when you first walk in the door, what do you see? And they are going to be looking carefully at that, and that's going to make or sell a house.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. So is there anything that you're wanting to know or that you're confused about that we can help you? You got 2 experts on here that you can pick our brains as much as you like.
I don't think so. Let's see. I'm still going through the process of getting in. I do have one thing to figure out. I got an email saying that my DocuSign paperwork was voided because the envelope was deleted, and I have no idea what that means because it's all electronic. So
that might have been something that Keller Williams is probably trying to send you, something that you needed to e-sign, and that might also be somebody trying to scam you. So don't think too closely about that. It just means that somebody tried to send you something for DocuSign or dot loop and then voided that transaction, but I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. I'd go scam there. I've never had issues like that.
I avoid
'Cause usually
transactions
you
every
can't
once in a
edit them
while.
anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if you avoid them, yeah.
Well, why did you decide to what do you do now? I'm assuming that you are doing something now, or is real estate what you're going to be doing full time?
No, real estate's full time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Before this, I was a jazz musician, so we don't really make too much money. So,
But you meet a lot of people.
yeah, I know a
Right?
whole bunch of people on the West Coast. I have a big network.
There you go. Then all you need to do is just keep that up, and word of mouth is big with real estate. That's 9 times out of 10. That's how we're gonna make that's how you're gonna make your money, is word of mouth, especially in the area that you're in, because I can pretty much guarantee you that you're competing with about maybe 2,000 or 3,000 other agents in that area.
Mhm.
So we need to get you need to get something that sets you apart from everybody else. Being a special agent will do it.
Yeah, those FBI skills.
Let me see. So what exactly did it attracted you to real estate? Like why real estate?
Well, everybody in my family is a broker.
That's
So
in your blood.
I have a lot of help and support in terms of like if I have questions or whatever, I can run it by family members. And of course now I have Keller Williams, and I have my team leader and all that kind of stuff. So I have a whole bunch of people I can do that with. So, but that's been a big thing. My dad used to build houses with his dad a long time ago. And I've always known that I could do something like that. So,
But your passion was jazz.
I do a lot of things, and that's why kind of real estate is nice, because you get to kind of,
You have
do whatever you
flexibility.
want. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have kids and a family and stuff, or you just it looks like you're young.
Yeah, I'm 22. I'm not married.
There you go. Well, at least now you can start setting up for that. I was going to ask you another question and I already totally forgot about it. Tamara, did you have anything that you wanted to tell them?
I would just say, like you said, I would talk to everybody I could at the grocery store. I know when I first started out, they used to call me Mary Kay at the gym, because I would have people lined up, and I sold I would probably say half of the gym that I went to a house. So I talked to everybody. People
Find
used
your
to be like
groove.
lined up waiting to talk to me, because like you should know a lot about houses and stuff like that. So even if they're not trying to buy and they have a question about the house itself, help everybody and talk to everybody.
And it's not about the dollar. It's not, for me, it's not about the dollar.
Right.
The ultimate goal is to find a home for somebody that they love and that they're going to want to stay in for a while, that you're helping them find their dream. So you gotta figure that, whether it takes you 2 weeks to do it, 2 months to do it, 2 years to do it, that's what your goal is, to help them find their dream. The money to me doesn't, it's always a nice bonus, but for me, I like helping people.
Right. Me too. Yeah. Because the money, you could do all that work and then be sitting at the closing table and the money don't come. So
or they don't sign the paperwork, or they don't get to
somebody don't show up to closing and decide they don't either want to buy or sell. So yeah. In Georgia, we have that happen a lot because we don't do escrow or anything, but yeah.
So you don't do,
get to know your people. We do earnest money, but usually, like I say, most of the time it's $500, and people will walk away for $500.
That happens here in Texas too. That don't. I mean,
Right.
people will refuse to sign. Not usually the seller, because usually a seller can get in breach of contract for that, and you can perform. Performance is a big deal, but for a buyers, I've had buyers, not necessarily myself, but I've had clients that have told me that they didn't sell it or whatever for whatever reason. Because the buyer wouldn't sign. There was a family once upon a time, and I don't know if you've had this over there in Georgia, but there was this one couple, and we could never figure out what the benefit was to them, like what they were making out of this. Is they would get into contract, they would put the earnest money down, which was usually like maybe $200, and then there would be something happen at the house itself, like a flood or a fire, and then they would walk away from the contract and they wouldn't sign. And they would lose their earnest money because they were past the option period.
Right.
So we could never figure out why like how they were benefiting from this, but they did it at least 10 times using different agents in this area. And it was very bizarre. Even I got a call one time from a police department, from a detective, asking me if I knew this couple, if I was familiar with them. And weirdly enough, they were doing field services for Fannie Mae, which I'm the real estate agent for Fannie Mae. So they were doing field services for Fannie Mae, and they were getting accused of arson and vandalism by putting, it was just a bizarre situation. But the only thing that we could think of is that somehow they were breaking into these houses and either stealing out the copper or stealing the appliances and stuff like that. And that's how they were making their money. But it's just so bizarre. Yeah. So you're gonna, I'm sure you said that your parents are brokers, or you got a lot of family members that are brokers, Bennett?
Yeah.
Are they here in Texas or are they in other states?
My dad and mom are here in Texas, and my grandpa is in Florida.
We just did a Zoom call. Well, not a Zoom call. I have another podcast that I usually do. It's called it's called Strategic Moves with Lou, and we do like a crime, real estate, and cooking. And we did Florida, and Florida is one of those states that you only have to have like 70 or 60 credits in order to get your real estate license there. And
or have a broker that's affiliated, and then you just pay.
Versus Texas, where you have to have like 260 or something, or 240 credits, 180 credits in that first year, and then you have to do 3 more classes in that second year. Or
he was that first year. He was a broker I think he got his broker's license in Texas, because my family is from Texas for generations, as far as you can go. Our family graveyard is here and all that.
Yeah. And then they reciprocated down there.
Yeah, and then he moved down to Florida, and then that's where my dad grew up, and then he moved, and then he stayed over there, but we all left.
So where are your parents also in Justin, and they're brokers?
They're not brokers, but they're license holders.
Oh, okay. So they're also with Keller Williams?
No, they're I don't actually know.
Well, you should work for them.
You're a great son.
What enticed you to not work with them, or are you guys not in the same area?
No, we're in the same area. I think my dad's license has been inactive for just a little bit, so.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
And then your mom is still active?
I'm pretty sure hers is active.
Okay.
But my grandpa is actually a broker, but he's in Florida, so.
Yeah. Well, you should definitely do something with family, because you never know. That's probably, I would love if my son or my daughter actually got into real estate, but they could care less about real estate. My daughter is like they still enjoy all of the fun stories that I tell them, but they don't really want to get their real estate license. And my daughter even says that, she refuses to join my real estate cult. Like, so, but eventually I think my son might decide to become an investor, but we'll see. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get your family into it because there's, especially in investing side, as a real estate agent, there's always that possibility that you could be accused of or thought to be not double dipping, but what's the word? I can't think of it right now, but working, like for instance, if I was listing a property, I wouldn't sell it to my son because it would almost be like a conflict of interest. That's the word.
Yes.
So especially on REOs, I don't really like selling. I'll sell it to my friends or, other investors because I don't think that that's a conflict of interest, but I don't know that I would really want to sell it to my son or myself because there's so many times that you can be accused of that. And I just don't want to risk my license for that. See, now I'm a broker, so there's a difference. If I was a real estate agent, listing agent, I would probably give him as the buyer's agent to somebody else. That way there's that division there. But have you experienced anything like that? Because I've heard of things that agents do here in Wichita Falls where they'll report another agent for weird stuff, like they feel like they got they didn't get the contract or something. They have multiple offers and they didn't get the contract for some unethical reason, so they'll report it to TREC.
I think we should report them. Yeah, I had an agent once who we had put an offer in, and then the agent, she actually sent me a text and said something about going to do a highest and best, and then she gave me the amount that the other person supposedly had put in, which we're never supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then when I went above that, since we were the first offer in, we didn't get it anyway because it was open door doing a cash offer. And she had already she didn't even submit my highest and best offer. So I reported her because she should not have, first of all, been involved in, when you do highest and best, you don't give out what other people's highest and best offers are. So, yeah.
Yeah, and nowadays, Bennett, with a lot of the market the way it is, it's crazy. You'll list a property. So let me ask you this: what is it that you? I know that you're super new, but what is it that you want to do as far as like what kind of clients do you want to deal with? Either buyers or listings, or what is it that you think that you want to deal with?
Well, I'll take any business that I can get at first, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely sign up for those open houses because I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of agents in your office that want to do open houses, or even if they have a really good listing and they didn't plan on doing an open house that weekend, volunteer to do an open house for them. And I guarantee you they're going to be okay with that. I don't want to overspeak, but most agents would be okay with you doing an open house for them. And it doesn't cost anything. You can also partner with a lender. Do you have any lenders there in the area that you've been reaching out to?
As far as I know, no, not yet.
You'll need to talk to one of the, do you have like a mentor in the office that you're working with other than your supervisor?
Yeah, I do. I haven't went through the training yet. I'm going to start, I'm pretty sure next week.
Okay.
But I'm sure I'll know something after that.
One of the things that you should ask your mentor is to give you a list of the different banks and inspectors and stuff like that, because usually an office will have something like that. They'll have a list of all of the inspectors and the lenders and the termite, all the services that they use on a regular basis with their clients. There's usually 3 or 4 choices on each category. but you're going to have to start developing your own, you know, services and who you provide to your clients as far as a lender and a inspector and a contractor. Those are things that are going to be important for you to have in your pocket. But saying that, as a lender, there's a lot of lenders in town that will actually participate in an open house. That's why I was getting to in this. You tell them that you're going to do an open house, you give them the address, you give them your name and your brokerage, and they'll print out flyers with your information, their information, and they might even bring goodies to your open house.
Right.
And advertise it for you too as well. So, you know, the sky's the limit with that kind of stuff. But
All right.
Did you want to do a story time? I was thinking about story time the other day, and I was like, we should do, like, for the last 5 minutes or so, we should do like a story time. Since Tamara, you got to tell us the story.
Well, let's see. Oh, you caught me off guard.
Well, okay, I'll tell a quick story.
Yeah, tell a quick
this
story.
is a funny, almost like X-rated story, but so it's not rated PG for any of you listeners. I have an agent that he's an elderly gentleman, and he's very proper, and he's not, you know, like he dresses still at the age of like 85. He still wears like you know, button-up shirts and slacks, and he doesn't walk out of his door without it. And he said that one time he walked into a listing that he had, and the owners invited him over. They wanted him to do a presentation, a listing presentation and everything. They wanted him to look through the house and give him his opinion and everything. And so he walks in the house, and the first thing that he sees is 2 giant pictures. And this is an older couple that he's also dealing with, but there was 2 giant pictures over the mantelpiece of the husband and wife in the nude.
Oh, wow. 2 of them? Oh, wow.
They were apparently nudists. And so all throughout the house, they have pictures of themselves in the nude and their grandma and grandpa, you know?
That's funny.
Okay. Yeah,
He's mortified because, I mean, like I said, he's this older Southern gentleman,
right.
And he's super proper, and he's sitting there going, "Oh, you might want to take that down, and
right.
that down, and that down."
Right. Yeah, I don't know if I could do that listing. Yeah, because they would not understand people not wanting to do their stuff, you know.
And as he was telling me this story, I kept thinking, these are grandma and grandpas. Just imagine their grandkids coming over to visit.
Right. Yeah. Maybe.
Do they take the pictures down when their kids come? Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
That is something. You do get a lot of stories with real estate, a lot of stories, but you meet a lot of great people. Definitely get to know your people and listen to
what they're saying,
what they really want, because sometimes they say things, but when you're, especially buyers, I learned real quick that they say one thing but they really mean another. So you really have to get to know them and understand what their real desires are, because it is a hard market out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's sometimes that you'll find a client that says, okay, I definitely want a 2-car garage, and I definitely don't want a pool. And then the one house that they absolutely love has a 1-car garage and has a pool. And so, you know, I mean, sometimes you have to be able to read them and read not only what their wants are and but also what their needs are.
Right.
Because, you know, I mean, especially I've had some clients that are elderly and they're disabled, or maybe they're a young couple and then they lived with grandma with mom, and mom is disabled, and we'll walk into a house that has 4 sets of stairs and a drop down living room, and I'll be like, listen guys, I mean, this is probably a nice, and they love the house, and I'm like,
Right.
It's probably a nice house, but you also have to think about your mom.
Right.
Is she going to be able to go up those stairs every day? Is she not going to trip and fall in the living room? So sometimes you have to kind of also educate your clients on what they need.
Yeah. A lot of times.
Not just what they want.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Justin, sorry, not Justin. You are in Justin. Your name is Special Agent Bennett. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, did you see that, Tamara? It says Special Agent Bennett.
I did see that. Yes.
I love it.
Already off to a good start being so creative. Yes.
Yeah, you got to be different. You got to be special.
Yeah, you do. Got to be special. Got to stand out from the crowd. There's a lot of us. Yeah.
I don't know if you have my contact information, but I'll put it in the comments here for you, Bennett. And if there's ever anything that you're confused about or need some help with, feel free to text me. I'm more than happy to help you. And we do this every week. So if you want to come in and talk to us and ask a question, feel free to join us. Okay. Welcome to real estate.
Great. Thanks. Well, thank you for your time.
No problem. And I just texted it, put it in the chat room. So if you need, if you want to save my phone number, we can jibber jabber anytime. Sorry, I got something stuck on me. Well, thank you guys for joining me again, and talk to you soon.
I will be getting back with you soon. I've actually been under the weather since last Friday. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh.
So
yeah, because I saw that I looked you up on Truck and I couldn't find you there. So they still haven't gotten you figured out?
Well, I thought they had. The background and everything's been done.
I did a search for, do you have it under Tamara Williams?
Uh-huh.
I did a search for you and I don't see you here in the in Trek yet. So you might need to call them tomorrow and see what's going on. Because they said it was going to be 48 hours, right?
Well, like I said, they cleared up the background check. So all of my things are green. So I don't know what the holdup would be now. So I guess I'll have to call them again.
Yep. All right, you guys.
Yeah. All right. I will be talking to you soon, though.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Tamara.
All right.
Thanks,
I'll see y'all.
Bennett. Bye.